It's like a Netflix thriller, isn't it, really? Except the script writers have taken far too many liberties with credibility. We're told by the Trump team that we're on the cusp of peace. Donald Trump, fresh from 2 hours on the phone to Vladimir Putin, has declared that Russia and Ukraine will immediately begin ceasefire negotiations. And where might this high stakes summit take place? The Vatican? Yes, under the watchful eye of Pope Leo XIV. Global warfare is to be traded for global prayer. Let the process begin, Trump wrote triumphantly and typically in a theatrical flourish on Truth Social, though indeed the venue has not yet been decided or confirmed. Let's begin with what is known. Trump's call with Putin lasted over 2 hours. It was, in his word, excellent. He has since briefed Zelensky, Ursula von der Leyen, Emmanuel Macron, and a smattering of other European leaders. Russia, for its part, says it is ready to work on a memorandum that could possibly, eventually, maybe include a ceasefire, not an actual agreement, a memorandum on principles about timing, about a possible peace. Meanwhile, Putin reiterated that the root causes of the war must be eliminated, by which he presumably means Kyiv's NATO aspirations and possibly Zelensky's entire government, not exactly a flexible starting point. Trump, ever the optimist or perhaps the showman, waxes lyrical about the post-war opportunities, large-scale trade with Russia, job creation, Ukrainian reconstruction. It's an economic resurrection story, albeit one told before a single missile has fallen silent. And then the truly operatic twist. The Vatican may hold the talks. It's hard not to smile at the image. Putin flanked by generals in cassocks, Trump delivering monologues in the Sistine Chapel, Zelensky lighting a candle and muttering in disbelief. Pope Leo XIV, still newly installed, has apparently agreed in principle. Vice President J.D. Vance met him earlier in the day and even handed him a letter from Trump inviting him to the White House. It's spiritual diplomacy with a Trumpian twist, and while symbolically potent, the Holy See may struggle to contain the political cynicism or military calculus at play. For Ukraine, the latest burst of diplomatic pageantry is maddening. Zelensky, who spoke with Trump before and after the call with Putin, has reiterated Ukraine's desire for an unconditional ceasefire and a full prisoner swap. Yet Putin continues to demand Ukrainian withdrawal from territories he only partially controls, echoing the same maximalist positions that he held in 2022. And the concern in Kyiv is plain, that Trump is being played. He's not ready to accept that Russia is cheating him and making him look like a fool, said Ukrainian MP Ariev. You can feel the exasperation from lawmakers and military personnel alike. There have been over 25 ceasefires since 2014, none of which Russia has honoured. And in addition, of course, there is the problem of the Russian law that, first of all, has defined the 4 regions plus Crimea in their entirety as Russian, and the principle in Russian law that Russia cannot cede territory. So what are we now really seeing here? A theatre of delay. Putin may talk of peace, but his drone strikes continue. And in fact, hours before this excellent phone call, Russia launched its largest drone barrage since the war began. And while Trump eschews sanctions and embraces trade deals, Europe seethes. Macron insists on a 30-day unconditional ceasefire. The Germans and the Finns echo him. Trump shrugs and says it's not America's war. Meanwhile, Russian forces continue amassing near Sumy and Kharkiv, and Ukrainian civilians bury their dead. There's something grotesque in the juxtaposition. Diplomatic backslapping while Ukrainian mothers receive flags in place of their sons. And so we arrive again at the eternal question, is this hope or farce? On the one hand, dialogue is always preferable to silence punctuated by bombs. On the other, we must ask, is this diplomacy or distraction? Trump's preference for direct deals, unsupervised, unstructured, uncensored, may be good television, but peace is not performance. It's hard-won, often quiet, always complex, and at present Russia's conditions for peace read more like the terms of surrender for Ukraine. If this is the start of something serious, then let the Vatican's bells ring loud, and if it's yet another chapter in the book of global self-delusion, then the Pope may soon wish he'd stuck to canon law. Let the process begin, yes, but let it begin with honesty, not hubris.